And this is what, there's a whole study of this that people have long ignored, which is called gematria, right? And so there are hidden codes within the Bible that people that study this stuff swear by, because they can find these hidden codes inside of it, because that's the way it was written in the first place.
We're going to look at the book of Genesis in the Hebrew, because we can convert Hebrew over to a numerical code. I'm looking for patterns in nature, because those patterns are not there by accident. There has to be a meaning behind it. So if the Bible is indeed the inspired word of God, then what you would expect from a being that created everything is that God would have to be the ultimate scientist, physicist, inventor, creator, and that God would put a mathematical code into the Bible for people to discover so we could believe. But maybe it's also an instruction manual. So it is, to me, evidence that the Bible is the inspired word of God. So God creates all things, and like an artist, God signs his fingerprint in nature, leaving it there for us to find. I looked other places in the Bible, and the next one that I went to was the tree of life. But there's the fall of man, and what God says is, okay, we have to separate now human beings from the tree of life. And so you could say then in the beginning that human beings were designed to be immortal, that we were never designed to age. And so there was a mechanism that existed on this planet to prevent us from aging. Just like lobsters never age, planaria, hydractinia, tardigrade, these living systems. And by the way, did you notice that these living systems live in water? And they're found in seawater. So there has to be a connection there. So if a mechanism was put onto our planet to prevent human beings from aging, and it was this thing called the tree of life, we obviously don't have this here today where we can look at it and examine it scientifically, but what we do have is the mathematical code in the story of the tree of life. So I looked at that code, and I distilled that code down into a number. And that number, when I looked into the scientific literature, was a wavelength of light that stimulated the production of telomerase. And when I looked at the compound that was responsible for that, I found it in lobsters. It all comes together. So this is incredibly exciting to me, because it means that when the Bible was written thousands of years ago, they didn't have modern technology like spectrophotometry, where they could analyze lobster blood and then say, okay, we're going to write the book of Genesis so it lines up with lobster blood, right? That didn't happen. God creates all living things, and this pattern is in our very DNA. It's the makeup of who we are. And it means as a race, we're all united. We're all human beings. We shouldn't be fighting and killing each other. We should be uniting with one another.